All right, we're live. Welcome everyone to the first episode. The Comic Book Fiend Club presents the Fiendcast. I'm your host, JJ, aka the Ink Jedi. I'm not alone today. I am joined also by
Steve Klein, president of the East Coast chapter, vice president of the club. I'm aka the Bataholic.
I'm Drew, aka the Friendly Faced Viking. I'm an officer of the East chapter. I'm here and ready to rumble.
What's up? I'm Chad, aka Canadian Geek, and I'm just a lowly grunt. No special titles for me.
We love you regardless.
True.
we started a little late, ran into some technical issues, and I'm sure some of our other club members will be jumping in as the show rolls along. I want to thank everyone for tuning in and watching. I guess I would like to start off with what this whole thing is as far as a Fiendcast. We wanted to create something where we could interact with the community, and we're able to, talk comics, get opinions, hopefully interviews, things like that. We want to do a video format as well as a podcast format. Right now, we're currently working on the podcast format. It's going to take maybe within the next month or so. We'll hopefully be on iTunes. Oh, there he is. Hey, James, introduce yourself.
My name is James. I'm the comic raider. Yeah, that's pretty much me.
All right. Thanks for coming on, man. But yeah, as I was saying, it's we want to turn this into a podcast. Hopefully, be by this time next month, be on iTunes and Podbean and Google Play, so you guys could hear us in your ears while you're on your way to work or doing whatever. Now I'm gonna pass it over to Steve. If some of you guys are new, maybe never heard of the Comic Book Fiend Club, Steve is gonna break it down for you and tell you a little bit more about us as a club.
Yeah, so what is the Comic Book Fiend Club? Yeah, it was established in 2015, and it was brought up by Aaron Rizzo, our president of the entire Comic Book Fiend Club. It was an idea to bring everyone together within the comic book community and help promote healthy ideas within our community, help just organize people that have similar interests as far as comic books, collectibles, art, Funko Pops, just whatever you're interested in this comic book community. It was a way to bring everyone together as one. And an idea to bring true comic book collectors together. So he approached both me, Renee, and Wood to kind of start this thing up and let's get it rolling. As we were going throughout the years, things developed a little bit more. We started branching off. We started branching into different chapters. We have the South chapter, we have the East chapter, we have the Midwest chapter, and we have the West chapter. We are currently sitting at 59 members strong. And we do a lot of different things, not only attending cons and repping the club at cons. We help out in our communities. We do charity events. We donate books. We got right now we have an ongoing drive for books for the military. Help promote any kind of social needs that we have in general that we want to support within the comic book community. So if this is something that you feel like you'd be interested in, something that you want to be a part of, by all means, we have open enrollments both in April and in October. My advice to you would be to hit us up on Instagram, hit up a lot of different members, get to know people. That's the easiest way for us to get to know you and for you to get to know us and make sure this is something that you want to be a part of. So please look us up. If you don't know really where to start, just DM the club page, and we'll get you to the right person. We'll see exactly which territory you're in. We'll get you the right people. We'll get you connected. But yeah, definitely look us up. I think we would love to have you here for sure.
And if you want to look us up on Instagram, it's simple. Just look up Comic Book Fiend Club. We're also on Twitter, CB Fiend Club. All right, we're always posting. So we have a couple of things on the docket today we want to talk about. First up, this week we got a brand new, more in-depth trailer of Venom. Just want to go around, get you guys' thoughts, opinions. What do you guys think? Personally, I think way better than the first trailer.
Yeah,
I got to see a lot more of Venom. I think it's a movie I'm definitely going to go see. But I'm kind of keeping my expectations low so that if it's good, I could generally be surprised.
We starting off then. Yeah, no, I agree with you, Jay. I think the first trailer a lot of people were like, "Oh, okay, sure, maybe." It looked interesting. You know, everybody has faith in Tom Hardy, but they weren't too sure considering we didn't see the symbiote. We didn't see Venom. And the second one was way better. It shows a lot more. Maybe shows a little too much even. They could have showed us a few shots to get us like, oh wow, and then okay, we'll wait till the movie. But I'm not angry. I think we're going to see I think we're going to see, if the trailer is true to what the movie is, I think we're going to end up seeing like 3 or 4 different characters, like maybe not Toxin, but like Scream and the one woman, the Riot, and the one girl who shoots out darts and who has like the T-1000 looking arm. So yeah, the second one I'll definitely go see it, and I'll keep my expectations mid-range. But I think if the movie's as good as the trailer, I think it'll be great.
I mean, I'm really not like. Unfortunately, I'm not into Spider-Man, Venom, any of that. But as a person who doesn't really know much about them, and I checked out the trailer, it looks pretty badass. I mean, Riot, that there's that one scene where he's got those double blades. Looks like he just goes in there and just F's up an entire room of people with just one swoop. That's pretty nasty.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, swoop. There it is.
I got excited. I was like, ooh. I think it's it looked much more promising, and I love Tom Hardy. I mean, the movies he's in, he's an intense actor. So I think they tried to mix in a little bit of the funny too, but it's like dark humor. Like he's gonna eat this dude's face for robbing a liquor store. You know what I mean? So I think it, as far as piss poor as some of Sony's hero movies has been, this one might save them. It might be a really good movie, I think. And I'm thinking about checking it out, and I don't really give a shit. So we'll see.
I'm super excited for it. I grew up 90s kid, reading Spider-Man, Venom. That was all big when I was growing up. So it was really cool to check it all out, to see the visuals of it. I had gone in reading a little bit that, he wasn't going to have the spider emblem on his chest. First thought as a 90s kid, like, man, that's really weird. Why isn't he going to have the spider emblem? But even just watching the trailer, like, I didn't even notice it. I didn't really care. Cared too much more about the action and Tom Hardy and the symbiote. And I mean,
symbiote.
Not breakfast. It's a movie.
Yeah, I mean, my only thing at this point now is I hope they don't do another trailer. Like, I'm just ready to watch the movie. I think this trailer, like Chad said, probably gave off maybe just a little bit too much, but, no more trailers. Let's just go. Let's just get to the movie. Let's just watch it. I think it's going to be badass for sure. James,
what do you think?
Well, I missed the beginning, sorry, but I unfortunately, I saw it. I liked it. I'm one of those that I don't get too hyped on trailers and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if it's a Jedi mind trick I've done to myself or not, but this way I go into all movies just level-headed, and I haven't really been disappointed yet, so I'm excited for it. I also didn't even notice that he was missing the Spider-Man until someone pointed out on Instagram. I would love to see it done well. I would love to see some Carnage in there. Or even just maybe a teaser at the end. I don't know. I don't know if that's been confirmed, if he's in it or not. But
I've heard.
I've
heard rumors that Woody Harrelson will be playing Carnage,
and I heard that.
It's true. That is probably one of the best castings for that film.
Awesome. That would be.
It's got to be. Carnage has got to be towards the end of the movie, right? Like a teaser towards the sequel.
Yeah.
Well, they're talking that it might be like a cast off of Riot during the end scene fight, where it's a chunk of the Riot symbiote that turns into Carnage and inhabits, Woody Harrelson, probably, hopefully. That's what I saw, at least.
Yeah, that'll be incredible. I think that'll get a good pop in the theater as well. You just see.
Oh
yeah, man. If that's like an after credit scene or something like that, it'll blow up on the internet. That will be huge.
Yeah.
They know that too. They're not dumb.
It won't be. rememberable thing that people remember from the film. Just looking at like the fight scene, like Drew was saying before, like, I mean, if the cinematography is like that, I think this movie will knock it out the park. One thing that it was a little weird for me was like, there was a part after whatever happened in the grocery store and Tom Hardy just made that joke. It's so weird trying to see him have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
It's a very rare thing from him in movies.
Yeah.
But he's an incredible actor. And I think if anybody could pull it off, it'll be him.
Yeah, I mean, he can play the wise ass. That's where the humor is going to come from, is that wisecracking, kind of like that cocky, you know what I mean? Like that laid-back attitude. He can convey that really
It'll be a little
well,
bit. It's like smart ass humor. He was not there to make jokes, but he'll make that dry humor, like that comment, and everybody's like, "What?"
And that plays to the character a lot.
Yeah.
So you know, at least from what I know of Eddie Brock as a character, that there's a little bit of that, you know, and that's kind of like that's Spider-Man's thing too, is he's kind of a smart ass. So I think characters that follow along, you know, along the same line.
Yeah, I agree, and I think I think at the end, I think we're gonna see I think we're gonna see Spider-Man. I think we're gonna see him get the Spider logo, just because it's the character. It's like they did the same thing with RoboCop when they came out a couple years ago with that reboot. He was black RoboCop, different suit the whole movie. Final scene of the movie, he's being re-debuted to the people of Detroit. What's he got? The classic silver look. So I think that's what's going to happen. He's going to go the whole movie with just black, and which we've all said I don't think a lot of people will care because he looks so badass. And then, you know, maybe he'll have like a 2-second interlude with Spider-Man before, you know, Carnage maybe gets a symbiote, and his symbiote will be like, oh, I like that logo, let's do our own version. It comes on.
We're getting Tom Holland. We're getting Carnage. We're getting it all in this movie.
Yeah, you can't have Venom. Like, you can't have him without the logo. It's like Spider-Man. You couldn't have Spider-Man without the chest logo. You can't have Venom without the chest logo. But I think we'll see it with
definitely. Sweet deal. It looks like it's going to be one of those movies that are just incredible to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So next on the docket,
it's going to be incredible. I mean,
or it's going to be a giant garbage dumpster fire. We'll see.
What, you mean this isn't going to build on their Craven solo movie they want to make?
We'll see. Maybe they'll bring Josh Whedon in for reshoots.
Did you guys hear the rumor about who's playing Craven?
No.
Jason Momoa.
No.
Jason Momoa is going to play Craven. That's the rumor.
He had met with someone in Marvel.
The only reason
take it with a huge grain of salt.
Yeah, I don't see that. I don't see DC, especially if Aquaman is like half as good as, you know, if it makes half the money that they think it will. I don't see DC letting him go do that, because I guarantee you they have it in his contract that no, you can't go and work for the competition. So he was probably, I bet you he was probably someone they looked at before he landed Aquaman.
Mm-hmm.
And he's either floating his name out there just to make it sound like it, but it'll be like someone different. I think he's just, I don't see DC letting him go if Aquaman's good.
When they first had the rumors of Jason being in the DC film, they were like, oh, he's in talks with DC to play a character. I'm like, fuck yeah, we're getting a Lobo movie. And then they're like, Aquaman. I'm like, all right, take that too. Yeah.
I just don't see him as Craven, but whatever.
He could do that, like that jungle man wearing furs in New York City. Like, he could totally pull that off. Like, that's a believable rumor.
I mean, he
could do it, but I don't see them. Like I said, I don't see DC letting him go do that.
No, I don't think so.
No,
there's not a whole lot of crossover between DC and Marvel with their characters, so that.
But
I don't see that happen.
I think this is all building up to. I think Sony and Marvel, Disney are going to start making like a whole Spider-Man universe in and of itself. Because now we're getting Kraven the Hunter, we're getting Venom. They're talking about Jared Leto was just cast as Morbius. Sinister Six. The next movie I call Blade.
And what about is the Black Cat Silver Sable movie still on the?
No, it got shelved till like 2022. Because they were like, who likes Silver Sable? And nobody answered them. So I think that's what they're going to do, because I think it's time. I think they know Blade's very popular, and he's still, it won't be Wesley Snipes because, he's old as hell. But
that movie, the first Blade, is going to be a hard movie to reboot.
Yeah. I don't think it will be just because Blade Trinity was so bad.
It was such a bad.
It left such a bad taste in people's mouths. That people are like, okay, let's see it.
Funny.
One and two were awesome.
Yeah.
Great movies.
I didn't like two.
Two's the best one. Oh, two's the best one.
Oh, bullshit.
No. No.
Oh man. So in other news. In other news, there was a lot that went on surrounding director James Gunn. As we all know, he was let go for tweets that someone went back 10 years and found of him saying a lot of terrible things. I would just say it like that. They're definitely online. You can go look it up. So he was let go from filming Guardians of the Galaxy 3. To follow that up, I know there was a petition started to get him back, and he did go and speak with Disney, but I don't know as of now if he was able to get back at the helm and direct the film. I know Drew, what do you think, man?
Oh boy. All right. All right. So,
take a deep breath, collect yourself.
All right.
And here we go.
I'm very opinionated on this. The way I see it, those tweets to me were hilarious. I mean, when they started coming up and people were posting them, I'm not gonna lie to you, I laughed pretty damn hard. And I think I understand people's offense to it, but the social climate we're dealing with right now, everyone's soft. Everyone's going to take offense to something, regardless of what it is. And whether let's take, for instance, his joke about laughing at AIDS people is the best medicine. I mean, obviously, James Gunn isn't walking around laughing in AIDS patients' faces. He'd be a dick. I'd punch him in his face for that. But,
what? You mean he's not actually doing that? Oh, I'm shocked.
That's how people take that shit, though. And that's, you got to understand, if you're not about funny, don't pass judgment on funny. I mean, the week after he got fired, I was watching, and he mentioned the thing about James Gunn and then made it dicks. So, shit, that's on cable television, and a lot of people watch that show, and a lot of kids watch that show. So how is that okay? Whereas tweets that were dug up by somebody who clearly had an agenda, 10 years ago, how does that warrant getting fired from your job? And I understand Disney, they got their the family values and everything. And my thing is, I don't believe that they didn't know about these tweets before they hired him to do the first Guardians movie. They got to have people that they pay to check out people's social media background, and they had to have deemed those tweets okay enough to hire him, or else they wouldn't have done it.
They knew.
Yeah, exactly.
If they're having people check out individuals making custom Marvel statues that they don't have a license for, they're looking at their directors for their featured films for sure.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. So that's, I call bullshit. I think Disney obviously had to fire him because it blew up the way it did. But I didn't see enough people stand up for a great director. And really, from what, you read, he's not a dick. He's a good dude. He didn't deserve to lose his job for something he said 10 years ago. Shit, if some people heard some of this shit I used to say when I was 20 years old, I wouldn't have half the friends I have right now. I was a little dickhead. You know what I mean? There's social justice. It's annoying.
Yeah.
You can't, just because it hurts your feelings doesn't mean somebody should lose their job. You know what I mean?
No, exactly. And to speak on your point, Drew, like two real quick points is one, if you guys remember when Batman vs. Superman was coming out, or Justice League, one of the two, there was that whole thing about how Ben Affleck had groped an interview's boob or something like 10 years ago when he was 26 or whatever. They were talking about, he did this. And then I just read an article the other day about how come no one's talking about, I don't know if you remember, if you guys ever watched the Oscars, but 6-7 years ago, some reporter sat there and was basically fondling Scarlett Johansson's chest on air, going, how did you get this? How did you get this thing like this? And the reporter was like, So we're going to rake a guy over the coals for doing this one thing that, yes, it was wrong, but, you know, it was one whatever. But we're not going to talk about the other guy who did it on national television at the Oscars, and he's sitting there like cupping this woman's boobs. And, you know, it's I feel bad for him because, obviously Disney had to have known. The things I've read a few different Reddit articles and things. I've read that there was problems because he wanted to go a certain direction, and he wanted kind of like, listen, you took a chance on me and I've delivered twice in a row. I want a little more power. I want a little more say on what gets put on the screen. There was a little bit of pushback, and maybe, who knows, maybe they didn't like him anymore. They didn't want to do.
Ooh, conspiracy theory territory.
Well, that's what I'm reading, is that they waited. They're like, you know what, fine, we'll just do this and we'll wait for it. Who knows what's going on. But what sucks is, you mentioned how people were backing him. None of the stars of Guardians of the Galaxy, except for Bradley Cooper and Zoe Saldana, because she had done a bunch of movies, were real stars. Like, Michael Rooker has been in a lot of things, but he wasn't an A-lister at that point. Guardians made a lot of these guys, and it also made them kind of like have a little bit of power. And I think had they threatened to walk out on Guardians of the Galaxy 3 if he wasn't hired, I think it would have worked. Writing a letter in support is nice, but it's not power. Had they been like,
oh, we feel bad, you lost his job, sign. You know,
exactly. I think had they been on like, yo, all 6 of us are walking out now if we don't hire him back, I think they would did. Now, maybe it wouldn't have worked in their favor in the future, because they finally, Disney execs would have been like, fine, after Guardians of the Galaxy 3, hey, guess what? You're all getting recast. But at least for this,
in Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yeah. But I just
Infinity Wars. We got no problem killing you now.
Yeah, exactly. So I just think, like I said, I think if they would have threatened to walk out, I think they would have had the power, even if it was very quick and very short. And maybe it would have shown the other actors for other franchises that, you guys, like, if you're the star, you have a little bit of power. You can change things without having to be scared of, they might, wreck my career or stuff. Because Guardians of the Galaxy made Chris Pratt. Like, we all know him. If you watch Parks and Rec, everybody knew who he was. But Guardians of the Galaxy turned this guy into a... Yeah.
Parks and Rec even crossed the line a few times if you're looking at the same kind of thing. You know
exactly.
What I mean?
Yeah, and so it made him a household name.
What's not? The public shouldn't be making those decisions, People shouldn't be losing their jobs over, somebody might get really mad at this. Ooh, bull. You know what I mean? Like, it's bullshit. He's a good director. He seems like a nice guy. He shares the same last name as me, so, he's a good guy in my book.
He must be a good guy then, right?
You guys are related, yeah.
I mean, my take is like, I'm not the same person I was 10 years ago, to be completely honest. And if we don't allow people room to change and to grow, then we're terrible people. You know what I'm saying? Like, we tend to hold people accountable for things they've done in their past, whether maybe it was done just to be stupid or under the influence. We don't allow people to grow. We don't allow people to change. And we really need to start doing that.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Look at Robert Downey Jr. He used to be a massive alcoholic and cokehead that went to jail.
He's still banned from Japan. They only let him in for the premiere the one time, and they don't want him back again.
Yeah, they let him. Like, know that. He got out of jail like a year and a half or 2 years before he did Iron Man.
Right.
And now he's a superstar, making
Everyone loves him.
A bajillion.
Daddy right now.
Yeah.
Shit, I used to wear girls' pants 10 years ago. I don't do that shit anymore. You know what I mean? Dyed my hair black and wore eyeliner. That was 10 years ago. You know what I mean? People change. Whether he was 26, 30 years old, it's 10 years ago. Yeah. You meet new people, you change, your attitudes change, everything. So not give the guy the benefit of the doubt when he was obviously trying to be funny.
I mean, 10 years ago,
people troll, knew how to probably even troll.
Yeah, a little bit of trolling too. Shit. That's the whole fucking point of Twitter, is to get people talking about what you're saying. You make a couple pedophile jokes and a couple age jokes, and all of a sudden people are talking about you.
Well,
you know what I mean?
And I know that the humor from those tweets compared to the humor in the movie is two different kinds a little bit, but I feel like they knew and they used his humor to make it a successful franchise, and then turn their back on him when people found out about this humor.
Yeah.
But they used it to their advantage first.
When it suited them, yeah.
And really, how far back?
Exactly.
People who investigated it to put it out again. How many tweets did you have to scroll through before you're like, pedophile
Exactly.
joke, I got you now.
But jackpot.
It's ridiculous.
These people have no life, though. But it also, I mean, people got to start going back and deleting stuff.
Yeah, it's got to be a lesson from everybody moving forward.
What do you got to do? You got to reset your Twitter account every year so you erase all the dumb shit.
Well, look at Michael Rucker. He completely left Twitter. That was the outcome for him. He left
Peace,
Twitter.
I'm out. Yeah.
You don't blame the guy, though.
I don't.
Good thing, and it ruined your entire life. It's
ruined.
Right.
You branded a racist, a pedophile, a sexist, homophobic, all that stuff, and it's just, when that's not you. You know what I mean? If anybody knows the guy personally, he's not that guy. You know what I mean?
Well, when we get off here, I'm going to look up all your all's MySpaces pages.
Be prepared for emo music and shitty lyrics.
I can't wait to find that picture of Drew with the eyeliner and the girl's pants.
Hey, it worked really good for me.
Tonight's conversation brought to you by Guinness.
So, in other huge news, let's talk about how the sale of Fox went through. Disney was able to purchase a ton of stuff from Fox. I believe everything except for Fox News, and I think Fox is still fighting to keep The Simpsons, but nobody gives a shit about them.
I saw something last night that
they're in trouble now.
Stay on Fox.
Trevor in our chapter gives a shit about The Simpsons.
Yeah, they're getting heat for the character Apu now, and it's been 100 fucking years since The Simpsons have been on TV.
89, yeah, 89.
I was born in 87, dude. The show's almost older than I am.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Well,
I'm done now.
I mean, it was a huge purchase. It was about $71 billion to pick up Fox, 21st Century Fox. So what do you guys think, man? There's so many opportunities now. There's so many good movies that could possibly come out and characters we could see on the big screen. Chad, we'll go to you.
Because I'm the movie guy, sure.
Yeah.
I think I read an article and it does make sense. I think Comcast actually putting a bid on it was about the worst thing they could have done, because a lawyer that I was watching on TV had said they weren't governed. The Commerce Committee of the states, I don't know what's called, the United States Commerce Committee or whatever it is, Department of Justice, whatever it is that deals with these things, or the FCC or whatever. They had said they weren't approving it because it would have given Disney a monopoly, because nobody else could make an offer. Nobody else can come up with that kind of money. So they were delaying it. And then Comcast says, hey, we got a bid. So then okay, well, now somebody else can buy it. Somebody else has the money. So now it's not a monopoly. It's an open market. Comcast, exactly, because Comcast put the bid in and Disney said, okay, well, we're just going to come over the top and give more money. And then now the Department of Justice, whoever it is, okay, well, now we have to let it go through because Comcast showed that there is someone out there who can get the money. So I think it's awesome personally, just because as I'm a huge, all the guys know I'm a huge Wolverine fan. So now I might get to see Hulk and Wolverine, or Hulk and the X-Men versus the Avengers, or whatever they're going to do. And at this point, Marvel, none of their movies have really sucked. Sure, Ant-Man or whatever, this or that, or Dark World, Thor Dark World wasn't as great as the other two, but all their movies have been good. You know what I mean? All their movies have at least been a 6.5 out of 10, if not better. So at this point, I trust them with anything. So, they could be this summer, you will watch Paint Dry. I'll be something's gonna happen. I'll watch it. I'll see. And
gotta see what happens at the end credits.
End credits. Someone knocks over the paint, and they got to do it all over again.
The paint dries, and then it chips off, and there's wallpaper. Shit.
But no, I think it's good because, and it's funny is that Steven Spielberg said about 6 years ago, he's like, oh, I think this whole comic book superhero movie craze is going to come to an end. And then he signs on to do a DC movie, which is kind of funny. But I think it won't, for the simple fact, especially now, because they have the whole, at least for Marvel, they don't have Disney, but at least for Marvel, they have so many options. They have such a large toy chest now to go into. And yeah, you might get a stinker. You might get, for every 5 movies, you might get one really bad one. But that's still 5 good movies opposed to, you're still getting, or if we use 5, you're still getting 80% good movies. So I think it's just going to bring in a lot. We're going to see a lot more animated movies. We're going to see a lot more kids movies. We're going to see a lot more adult movies. And I think they're going to do really good. I think they're going to reboot the X-Men franchise. I think they're going to reboot a lot. I think they're going to do a lot of good. I think it's going to be awesome.
Sweet. James?
I'm excited to see some of the new storylines that can come out. I would love to see. I'm not a fan of the X-Men movies. I know a lot of people aren't, but there are some who are. So I would love to see a brand new cast and everything. I will say that as far as I'm just gonna go to Wolverine real quick. If Hugh's gone, my pick was Tom Hardy. So now he's Venom, and that kind of is iffy. Don't shake your head at me.
Too short, too old.
Jason Momoa,
I like him.
He does that.
Jason Momoa,
everything.
Like everyone.
But no, I'm excited. I do agree that I think eventually something will be a bad one, but they're going to keep going until something loses money, and I don't see that happening anytime soon. But I'm excited for the Cosmic and the X-Men getting involved, really.
All right, Prez, Steve, what do you think?
I mean, obviously, I'm excited to bring, of course, the X-Men. Everyone wants to see the X-Men brought back into the MCU, but I think there's also a lot of excitement to see what they can do with the Fantastic Four and play with that universe.
Galactus, Silver Surfer,
Galactus, Doctor Doom. I mean,
the Watcher.
I mean, all that. Doctor Doom could be a huge, complete arc for the MCU. Yeah. So,
I mean, he can really be the next big baddie after Thanos.
Yeah, agree. I do have a little bit of concern. I'm not so much concerned because, I mean, I am hyped for it, but not having the X-Men, not having Fantastic Four, even though they're on a maybe another tier than the X-Men, has been able to allow them to dig deeper into the toy chest and put characters on a pedestal that really should have no point on being on a pedestal, like the Guardians of the Galaxy, Ant-Man. I mean, if they would have had X-Men, Fantastic Four, all this from the beginning, would we have seen those characters? Would we have seen those movies?
No, we wouldn't have.
Probably not.
Probably not, yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Drew?
Well, I'm going to take it in a different direction. I'd be interested to see, because Disney has been hinting about doing a streaming service for a long time and pulling Marvel stuff from Netflix, Hulu, whatever, and putting it on their streaming service. So I'd be interested to see if they would entertain taking, some of this to a TV show. Like we have Daredevil and Punisher and everything. It'd be interesting to maybe see, maybe the X-Men in a show. You know what I mean? A weekly show, whatever it's going to be, where they can take it and they can go dark with it if they want to, or they can, make it like the 90s X-Men that we always loved, the costumes and everything. I mean, not everything, not every character has a blockbuster movie. You know what I mean? Me personally, being a huge Captain America fan, I think at this point, with Chris Evans backing out, Cap would make a great street-level hero TV show. And I think they got to start looking at that and more because, going in and putting 3 hours in a movie, not everybody's down for that. But, 45 minutes, an hour show, 5-6 episodes in a season, that's a lot of content. And they can really explore the world a little bit more that way.
I agree.
Especially the mutants, for sure. You could go a deep dive into that.
Imagine having the word mutant back in the Marvel.
Right.
These Marvel MCU. I'm just going through a list of characters owned by Fox. Some I didn't know and some I did. I mean, you have your Galactus, your Silver Surfer, your Watcher.
They own Namor.
Kang.
Well, I had read Namor is a little bit more complicated.
Yeah, he is. It's like dual ownership. Kind of like
he's tied to somebody else too, so that one's super complicated as far as getting Namor involved.
Yep, the High Evolutionary, the Living Tribunal, Alpha Flight. I know Chad.
Oh,
there you go, Chad.
I got ideas to how to introduce Wolverine and Alpha Flight in the MCU that'll blow your mind.
I love the Fantastic Four. Always have since I was a small kid. I've watched every single Fantastic Four movie that's ever been made, including the one that wasn't supposed to hit theaters, but it did, and it was so bad. It came out like the real early 80s, something like that.
The motorcycle bike helmet.
It was so bad, and I'm convincing myself, wow, look, it looked like they put Reed Richards' arms on sticks and then just push the stick out. It was terrible. I went to go see the last Fantastic Four movie because Dr. Doom was in it. I was there about 45 minutes and I left.
Oh man, you walked out.
I refused to have my heart broken again. I mean, because I left the theater sad. I was like, this is the shit. I'm never watching. First of all, because a lot of the scenes that you saw, like in trailers and things like that, didn't make the movie. And apparently, the director was having issues with the studio because they wanted to cut a lot of things out.
Really?
So the movie wasn't made. And I heard that was just a problem with Fox in general. Like the studio would step in and be like, no, we don't want this. We don't want that.
Yeah, they're not going to listen.
Yeah, apparently that's the same problem. Not to segue too weird, but that's the same problem the New Mutants was having. The director's not really a fan of supposedly the books, and he's kind of straying a little bit from the source material. So as far as like New Mutants and I guess the Phoenix movies,
Dark Phoenix, yeah,
I've heard it's supposed to come out. I heard that they're not having it come out. I don't know, but definitely would love your thoughts on that. I think for myself, if you're gonna introduce new characters and new teams, I think you set up a Secret Wars movie.
Oh, for sure, absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That would be amazing.
Yeah,
I mean, bringing it all together is going to be frantic as hell trying to get everything together like that. But I mean, visually, that'd be
if they have to split up Secret Wars into actual 12 movies, that's fine. Just do
it. Right?
Well, to speak to like to Drew's point of having on the streaming service, what I've read is that they're going to look at, for their own streaming service, they're going to look at more of the kid-friendly, family-friendly characters to do on their streaming service. From what I've read, Netflix will keep making the shows they make. Because if you notice, Marvel and Disney do not promote the Netflix shows. Netflix promotes the Netflix shows. And they do that because because now that they've got that fan base, they can go a little more violent and darker with Punisher and Daredevil. And Luke Cage to a certain extent. It's violent, but it's not like, dark and bloody violent, like Punisher and Daredevil can be. So I think we're going to see Netflix. I think I've read that Netflix is going to keep making those shows, the ones that they need to have a little more adulting. And I wouldn't be surprised if Disney Marvel did like a Gwenpool show and like Miles, like we've already seen the Spider-Verse movie coming out. More of those ones where you can show violence, but you won't see blood and you won't see stabbing, and it'll be more under the Disney kind of family-friendly thing. New Mutants, I've heard that there's potentially up to 65% of the movie is going to be reshot. Now, I'm not a Hollywood insider. I'm just I'm regurgitating what I've read, but I've heard that it's been problems since day one, not only with that the director doesn't like the source material, but that he was trying to go into I guess he convinced them, he sang a good song, and then he shot most of the movie, and it wasn't anything of what they originally proposed to shoot. So that's causing the extensive reshoots. And with Dark Phoenix, I heard it's just bad. It's just they're filming it and people are just like, what are we making? Like it's just not good. They're it's like New Mutants. They thought they were going to go this way and continue the storyline that they've been building since First Class, and they're just kind of taking a right-hand turn. So I guess we'll see what happens. But Netflix, I'd love to see an X-Men Netflix show.
Great,
give me Logan, or give me Moon Knight, or because I'm such a diehard Wolverine fan, I'd love to see like a Logan War Stories movie or show. Like each season is him during a different, because he's been in all the wars or whatever. It could just be him building, and I would like to see
at the end of that big time. That'd be badass.
Yeah, each season is like Civil War, Confederate War, World War I, World War II, Vietnam, and introduce different characters as you go. But with any character, it would nice to see them not try to force them into TV, but like with Daredevil. Okay, if it's so popular after season 3, make a movie. There's no reason they can't take the guy who's doing it and make a movie out of it. And if it's successful, keep doing more or go back to TV.
And not recast, and don't recast the character either.
No, exactly.
Keep the face that everybody knows. Move them over to a movie. You know what I mean? These guys are capable of being in a movie.
Yeah,
that's the one thing. I mean, I don't know if anybody else agrees with me, but Flash and Justice League. I mean, I like the CW shows, and I like Grant Austin as the Flash.
Gustin.
Was that what Gustin?
Grant Gustin, yeah.
I think he's great as the Flash. And you know, when I saw the trailers, I haven't seen the Justice League movie. I don't care.
You're not missing much.
But you know, when I saw that, you know, they had a different guy playing him, and I was like, oh, fuck that shit. Like, you know, as a fan of the shows, it was hard for me to buy a new character in the movie, because to me, the way I look at it, you know, it should all be together. You know what I mean? If there's, whether it's in a movie or if it's on a show format, you're still in the same universe, and keeping it separate just kind of, I don't know, it bothers me, I guess. You know what I mean?
I think they did explain that the Flash you see in the show and the Flash you see in the movie are from two different universes.
And that's their fucking.
Which I'm like, okay, whatever.
Different multiverses, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's okay.
That's how you really feel, Drew.
But I mean, you know, in Daredevil, they referenced a little bit of Avengers 2, Avengers 1. You know, they had some references about that kind of stuff, but it would be nice if there was a little bit more of that involved. You know what I mean? Like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. does a great job of that. It fit in right between.
Every summer they come back and they're referencing the movie that came out in May.
Right. And that kind of, that made me like, I mean, I have missed, like, I think the last 2 seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because I got rid of Hulu because
I've never watched it.
So it, you know, whatever. But and I think that makes it a successful show, that it plays off, because you could go back to the very first Marvel movie and follow the timeline with the Peggy Carter stuff and go right into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, it all is together.
I mean, everything lines up, yeah.
And you're speaking of that too. You're speaking about repercussions that happened for Infinity War.
Right.
So I can't wait for Iron Fist to disappear at the end of his season. It's gonna be fucking awesome.
Please.
Hey. He's much better in Luke Cage season 2. Give him a chance.
Oh man, a kung fu master that doesn't know how to fight drives me nuts.
Oh no, they've.
Well, don't they have new? They have a new fight choreographer now, I believe.
If you watch,
he looks great.
It could be better.
I mean, the choreography in Daredevil was incredible.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Iron Fist is going to be the shit. And then I watched it. And if I heard him say, I'm the immortal Iron Fist, I was going to fucking lose it. I mean, I would even, I got angry at seeing the pop in a store once. I was like, fuck this whole thing. And I turned it around. I wanted to be into that show so bad. And it just,
I know.
If I had to hear him tell me how he's the defender of Kung Lung one more time, I was going to punch a baby.
I definitely hit the fast forward button on that one a couple of times. I mean, I also heard that they're going to do a Master Kung Fu series starring Donnie Yen.
Awesome.
That'll be cool.
I'm totally lying about that. I just want to get your reactions.
He's a real deal, man.
Well, you know what?
I love him.
He's Danny Rand, the guy who plays him, and his small cameo in Luke Cage season 2. If it's any indication of what they're going to do with the character, you'll like it, Drew. They change him up. He doesn't have the goofy dumb beard. He's got like the cool, like the modern, like 5 o'clock shadow beard. He's got a buzz cut,
and his personality, I think, is different.
Yeah, he's way more like just everybody. Like he's way more like the passive. Like, I'm gonna be passive until you piss me off. Then I'm gonna have to punch you in the face. And he doesn't have to, like, it's not like an iPhone 6 where he's got to charge his hand for 7 days. Now it's like yellow.
He's kind of found himself.
Yeah, I mean,
he's just Iron Fist in everybody he sees. Like
halfway through the first, I gave up on watching the show, man. I just, I was like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I mean, it was awful. And I loved Luke Cage. Luke Cage was awesome. It was gritty. It was, you know, I thought maybe he could have been a little bit more of a better actor, but I think he really kind of grew into the character.
Yeah, season 2 is great. And like I said, like the Iron Fist, there's this one great scene, because he's only on it for like one episode for Luke Cage, which there's another point. I like how they do that. I like how the Netflix shows, they'll take not always the main character, like I think it was in from season 2 of Daredevil and season 1 of Iron Fist, Madame Gao. I like how they take people and kind of implant them. But there's a great scene in Luke Cage season 2, his episode, where there's like a bunch of thugs and they want to fight, and he just looks at them and he, like, you know, he lights up his fist. He's like, you want to play this game? And they're like, we're good. You know, when we're season 1, he'd been like, okay, come on, man. Oh, what's going on? I can't get it going. So I think they've realized what they need to change, and they've done it very good, I think.
Well, that's good because it was unbearable. I couldn't watch it. Like,
I agree. I agree.
mean, I love the fact that Rosario Dawson is just making her way, fucking all the characters. Like that she goes back and forth banging everybody.
And her name sounds like a porno. Oh, I'm the night nurse.
Yeah. I fix all your boo-boos.
I mean, it's a great way when they kill her off for them to all join together. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I like the Defenders was great. I enjoyed it.
Defenders was very good.
It was awesome how they kind of had each other just trying to kill each other, all four of them at the same time.
Right?
Or three of them, four of them, whatever.
Four of them.
And
I think
they finally kind of melded, right? I mean, like the last half an hour of the last episode is when they became the team.
And one thing that I enjoyed thoroughly was Jessica Jones not knowing martial arts and being like, "What the fuck?" Brute force to like beat these guys up. I mean, I really enjoyed that.
I didn't know this. You know, she can fly, but she doesn't because she gets airsick.
No,
and they were going to talk about. They were speaking about it. I guess they were supposed to put it in season 2, which was a dumpster fire. That season 2 of Jessica Jones was so bad.
Yeah, I was disappointed.
I would actually
never finished first.
Yeah, don't worry about me.
Got to go back and give it a try.
Yeah, season 1 of Jessica Jones is good, but
I watched the first episode and hated it, so I didn't watch it.
They were going to reference it. They never did, but I heard they were going to reference it in season 2 that she can fly, but it makes her airsick. So even in the comics, she says, "I know how to fly and I can fly, but I get sick the second I leave the ground."
That's gotta suck.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What's the one power you want? I want to be able to fly, and then you find out you Ralph as soon as you pick up on it. It's gotta suck so hard.
I got super strength, but every time I punch someone, I shit my pants. Oh damn!
Hope you wear your brown pants.
Awesome. During San Diego Comic-Con, we got 2 trailers, 2 DC trailers for 2 films. One was Shazam, and the other was Aquaman. Let's first talk about Aquaman. What do you guys think? I'll start with James. James, what did you think of the Aquaman trailer? What are your thoughts?
I loved the Aquaman trailer much more. That's probably the one I'm most excited for. If I'm going to go a little negative, I feel like it almost might be too much. They're going to try to put into this one movie. So we'll have to see how that goes. But I like the whole Trench and Throne of Atlantis type thing that they're going off of, because I do love that one. I loved Black Manta. I'm excited to see him in it. But I would say my concern, because DC hasn't always done very well, is are they going to try to put too much into this one movie?
Yeah, I kind of echo the same concern with that a little bit. I think Black Manta is going to kind of be maybe in one scene, like one big fight scene. I think it's obviously between Ocean Master and Aquaman.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the final resolution of the movie. I think Black Manta is just going to kind of play a subplot role, but I think, he's already got huge fan reaction. I think you're going to see him, if it's successful enough, be in the sequel. But I got huge faith in James Wan. I think he's the perfect director for it. The visuals looked awesome. That one scene where they were diving back into the ocean and you had all the trench monsters kind of surrounding them and going down with them, that was pretty fucking sweet. So
awesome.
And quick question: does anyone know if this is pre-Justice League or after Justice League? What's the timeline?
I have no idea.
That I don't know. I'm assuming
I don't know if they've said
I would have to assume it's before, simply for the fact that they reference him as King of Atlantis or something like that in Justice League. And when he goes down there to see when the PlayStation 3 version of Steppenwolf shows up down there for the mother box, there's nobody there. There's nobody there.
Wow, that was harsh.
There was nobody there but Mira and a few guards. So if he had shown up when Ocean Master was king, everybody would have been there. So I think this takes place just before it.
Makes sense.
I think Manta, from again what I've read, I think Manta, like Steve said, I think Manta is going to be in a few. I think we're going to see him build up through the movie because he hates Aquaman. He blames Aquaman for a few things, and I don't want to spoil it. So I love it that they kept his costume. I love that he's got the 2 goofy giant red eyes because they pull it off. It looks great. And I think we're going to see him near the end become the Black Manta, do that quick attack scene, and then he'll be the baddie in part 2. So I think it looks great.
Drewski.
I think Aquaman's usually the butt of a lot of jokes with like Big Bang Theory. Aquaman sucks. SpongeBob kind of ripped him off with all that shit, and I think they're trying to erase the joke and about Aquaman, and I think Jason Momoa is perfect for it. And the trailer, I mean, shit, it was awesome. It was just it looked epic. And I think that's a great way to kind of. I mean, honestly, I've never read Aquaman before. It kind of piqued my interest a little bit. I was like, oh shit, Aquaman's kind of badass. I might want to check this out a little bit. Like I always kind of was like, oh shit, he talks to fish. Like fish piss and shit in the water, and he just eating it. Like that's kind of the way I've always looked at it. But it kind of piqued my interest a little bit, and I really don't typically go and see DC movies. I might check this one out. I really think it might be worth it for me to go and sit and watch it. I mean, it's kind of awesome. I mean, the only DC character I really read is Green Arrow, right now, and I read the metal stuff, but so that kind of piqued my interest a little bit, and maybe opening up what I'm interested to a little bit. So it might do that for other people who never really gave a shit about Aquaman before, but all of a sudden it kind of looks badass. You know what I mean? And Black Manta's outfit, I'm sorry, he kind of looked like Alpha 5 in the Power Rangers reboot.
Oh, man.
I think getting rid of the gold and green or the gold, orange and green outfit, I think that was a big plus. I just don't think
he's wearing it. He's going to get it at the end of the movie.
But it's going to be armor. It's not going to be a skin tight fish scale like he has in the comics.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah. Butt flap.
And it'll be more gold than it will be orange, like it is in the comics. But yeah, I think it looks pretty good. The one scene, and I feel it sucks because when you're showing a new world within a world, you're showing a new area on Earth. Everybody's like, "Oh, it's Wakanda underwater," and I'm like, "Cool, sign me up."
And
like,
I mean, if
you just sold me.
If there's one thing that always bothers me about when DC films come out is that we immediately try to compare it to Marvel films. Right. I think that's a huge mistake because it doesn't allow us to enjoy it for what it is. I mean, granted, a lot of DC movies sometimes are very, very gloomy and depressing. It's really hard to watch it. It's a hard time. And I've never really felt like that with a film until Infinity War. Like that one gave me that feeling of like, oh, this really sucks. and not in a bad way, but it was like, damn, like this is crazy right now. So I think this film, I think you're gonna have like some conflict, right? I love my heroes with conflict. They need to battle something. Yeah. But I don't necessarily feel like it's gonna be one of those films that are doomy or gloomy. I think it's just gonna be a straight superhero action film. And probably a journey of self-discovery with Aquaman to accept who he is as the king of Atlantis.
And I think that's why they're waiting for Man of Steel too, because I think they're going to wait to see how Aquaman does, and they're going to wait to see how Shazam does, and then they're going to say, "Okay, what can we do? How can we put this into other movies?" I think number one, I think not having Joss Whedon anywhere near movie set probably helped Aquaman, but.
Hey, now my boy Joss.
Yeah. Well, you can. Yeah.
So,
don't
I just want to go back
Justice
to. I just want to go back to Drew's comments real quick, because I'm sure that there's a lot of people who are like, "Oh, I want to check out some Aquaman real quick." I would say that the least you could do, the absolute least you could do, is find Justice League's New 52, the Throne of Atlantis, whether it's the trade back or whatever. And then the animated movies that DC is knocking out the park, they made a Justice League Throne of Atlantis movie as well.
Okay.
And I would just give those a quick check out, and it seems like they're tying a little bit of this movie with that. So it will at least help build the hype and help, for people that won't be as lost.
I agree with James. I mean, I think the New 52 run is a good place to start if you're wanting to check out a little bit of Aquaman. It encompasses the Trench, Throne of Atlantis, like he said. It's a great place to start if the trailers piqued your interest a little bit to learn a little bit more about Aquaman.
Yeah, there's some twisted shit in the old 90s Aquaman, like when Black Manta takes his hand and shoves it in a piranha pool. Yeah, that doesn't end well.
And then he gets that little hook, yeah. But I mean, he's a character that has the conflict of, supporting both sides of him, both the human side and this, being the king of Atlantis. And so I would like to see them incorporate, that conflict into these movies and how each one comes after one another.
I agree.
Yep.
All right. So thoughts on DC's Shazam trailer that came out again during Comic-Con? I'm gonna go to Drew because he's already laughing.
I'm kind of excited about it. I got a good buddy of mine, Josh. I know you're watching. He's a big Shazam fan, and so when we heard that the movie was coming out, it's like, dude, yes, this is awesome. I think from the trailer, they kind of stepped away from the darkness a little bit and kind of lightened it up. When he's charging people's phones, boom, your phone's charged, boom, your phone's charged. That shit, it made me laugh. It made you chuckle. And, he's like, oh, hey, I'm a superhero. Hitting on that chick like that. It kind of, it's taking a little bit of a step back from, everything's got to be Batman. Sorry, Steve. But it doesn't.
No, I think what you're trying to say, it's the perfect movie to bring a little bit of levity to the DC universe. Right.
Yes.
And I hate, being, but it looks like they're maybe learning from Marvel just a little bit with this character in this movie where, it's okay to have a hero joke and laugh and be kind of silly. And that's kind of what they can use with, that he's a kid, Billy Batson.
Right.
He's a 12-year-old kid, 13-year-old kid, whatever he is, that can just yell a word and boom, hero. And that's every kid's freaking dream as it is. So I mean,
and that scene where he's like, all right, you have powers. We got to figure out what it is you can do. I mean, if I was a kid, I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do, but let's see what I'm capable of doing.
Oh, dude, you're bulletproof.
Learning shit along the way. And I think one of my favorite parts of that trailer, when the kid's just walking, he goes Shazam, and he automatically changes. Yeah. And I mean, just that was just so badass looking. Like he could just do it at a drop of a hat. It looks like it's just going to be funny. I think the actor they chose to play Shazam is going to be spectacular too. I think he's going to knock it out the park.
Definitely.
It's going to be a family movie for a change. I mean, families are going to feel like they can take their kids to see it. I mean, they're going to be able to relate to that. So I think this was the good choice, good direction for the DCU to go for, to use Shazam. I think it's going to be a perfect setup.
Yeah, I think it's going to work so well too because you got to remember he's a kid. So be like, oh, they're trying to be funny. They're trying to be like this Marvel movie. It's like, no, Shazam, Billy Batson's a 13-year-old kid. So he's going to be like, oh my God, I can say what I want. I'm a big guy. I can and do all this crazy shit. And it works because he's a kid. Whether he's, when Zachary Levi or he's Shazam, inside he's still a kid. So he's still learning how to deal with everything.
The wisdom of Solomon, if that's correct, right? I believe it's the wisdom of Solomon.
So he's smart. Yeah, he's got the wisdom.
One scene where he throws the guy through the window in the gas station, and he's walking out with like a 6-pack of soda pop. Like, hey, what's up? Yeah. Like that's right there. One point he's a superhero, the next point he's a 13-year-old kid.
Prediction is I believe we see Batman at the end of that movie.
I just don't like. I got to be honest. I don't like the suit. It looks like like you said, Alpha 5. His lightning bolt looks like
they stuffed him. He's not that big.
Like they were showing pictures of him at the gym, and he's like, "Oh, I'm lifting weights," and they're like, "You are fat, sir." And they're showing pictures like Henry Cavill and Jason Momoa. They're all cut and ripped, and they're like, "That's what you're supposed to look like." But no, I love the trailer. I thought it was awesome. Like when he's walking, looks like a trailer park, and he says Shazam, and he turns into him. And I was like, okay, I can get behind this. This will be fun, I think. And like I said, the humor and the levity will work because in the end, it's a kid with powers and not an adult who's been like a superhero for 15 years or something. He's a kid who just got them. Yeah. So I think, it'll work. And what's nice is
they can have some fun with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they can make mistakes. I think people say, okay, well, it was the first movie and we'll see what happens in the second one. So
Jay, you're sitting there saying, You're predicting Batman at the end of the movie.
Yep.
There's a lot of rumors saying that it could be Superman's in the movie at one point. Of course, everyone wants to go to Black Adam, The Rock, that he's going to show up. Yeah. And a concept art leak that showed just like the top half of Black Adam's costume with The Rock mocked up as Black Adam. So,
that's going to be badass.
Supposedly, he's not supposed to make an appearance till Suicide Squad 2, though.
Right.
Why did DC keep taking humans and putting them in the most powerful people in the universe? They need to stop. I heard The Rock has already said I wasn't on. Now he could be lying, but he said I wasn't on the Shazam site once. The set. Yeah. He's like, I never went to
He's too busy. He's too busy making hits like Rampage and Skyscraper.
Hey,
you gotta think like now.
He's huge in Japan.
We're
I know.
introducing all these.
Huge in my heart.
we're introducing all these characters because we are going to get another Justice League film, and this time the threat is not going to be Steppenwolf, right? We're gonna go off. We're gonna fight.
Thank God.
Darkseid,
it better be Darkseid. That's the only. That's the only thing they can do.
The only thing I can see happening, and it has to be a two-parter.
And it's the perfect time. They probably maybe should have whipped him out before Thanos hit the screen, but having a big bad like that is going to be a good thing for them. Instead of
I'm glad they didn't bring him out earlier because they would have ruined it.
Now they can make it better.
Exactly.
They can take the ultimate a-hole that Thanos was and build off of that and make him just, unbeatable. You know what I mean? Like just that for Infinity War, that heartless, hopeless feeling when the movie started and you didn't get that Marvel and it was just like done, and everyone was like, "Oh fuck, we are fucked."
Beat within the first 5 minutes. Oh shit!
Yeah, I was slapping my body like, "Oh, Loki is dead." No, it was they can really. That's where it needs to be dark.
Yeah, I'd love to see Zack Snyder come back.
Oh yeah.
And more people. Jason Momoa, I think it was like 2 weeks ago. He came out and he said, no, I've seen he's like, there's a Zack Snyder cut. I've seen it. It's way better than the one that was in theaters.
Nice.
I would love to see it.
I think everybody would love to see it.
Yeah.
Just,
real quick before we move on from DC, earlier we had kind of talked about the splitting up universes and how horrible that is. So now you have the whole Joker movie going on.
Ugh.
And I hate that. If that's what they're really doing and they're going to do it, and the fact that they have a Joker, whether you like him or not, and you're going to make this new movie, why split it up? You've already made so many bad decisions.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And to have it three, like they got, Jared Leto's not going to be the Joker anymore because he's going to be Morbius, which, good career move. But now they're going to have the Joaquin. I guess Martin Scorsese was attached as a producer.
I said Joaquin is the director.
It's Todd Phillips, the director. Martin Scorsese was rumored to be a producer before. Now he's not. I just don't know. And they're even saying like,
Robert De Niro is supposed to be in the movie.
Yeah, and Joaquin Phoenix isn't going to be.
James is even cracking.
Yeah, and Joaquin Phoenix, but they've already said that Joaquin Phoenix isn't going to be the DCEU Joker. So it's like, well, what's the point then?
But that's my point. Exactly.
Like, what are you doing? You're wasting time and money.
You're just not connecting your universes.
They're just trying to throw people at the wall and seeing which ones stick.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Let's spam everybody with all the different multiverses and fucking figure out which one works the best.
Right.
If it sucked, we can say it was this universe and reboot it with this guy.
Well, if they make it an origin movie like they said they plan to do, then it's not going to stick to the wall.
Is it going to be like a mobster type film?
Oh no! Well, it could be kind of a
or
superhero-esque like crime movie, maybe. I could see that,
Jack
but
Nicholson back.
I just want to see. They should just make the Green Lantern movie already. Stop dicking around. Put Arnie Hammer in the suit and let's go.
Oh, do we know if they're going to go with like a Hal Jordan, or are they going to go with Jon Stewart?
You got to go with Hal Jordan at the start.
I heard
I think it's just the cores. They said that it was
it's going to be the Green Lantern
Corps. We probably will have like a Guy Gardner or Jon Stewart.
I heard it was like a buddy cop space movie is what they were trying to make with that.
Yeah. Right. And based on how that goes, but if you were to pick one, like everybody in the comic world knows Jon Stewart, but not everybody knows who he is. You got to go with Hal Jordan, the first one, then go with Jon Stewart. Nobody cares about Guy Gardner. We never need to see that ginger on screen. Kyle Rayner, I could see getting not his own movie, but maybe being in a movie with John, like the court movie. I guarantee they'll show us all of them, and then they'll say, they'll do their test screenings and their groups and say who do you like, and they'll let's go with this guy then.
I think you can pull it off with Jon Stewart. I think you can make it happen for sure.
Not if it's the first one. If it's the first one after the Green Corpse movie, yes. But you couldn't just come out with Jon Stewart Green Lantern movie first. it would have to be after the Corpse movie, I think.
I agree.
Because we all want
people are
to see
attached
a
to
Green
Jon
Lantern movie.
Stewart.
A
Yeah,
lot
there
of the
was-
younger, because he was
Yeah.
in the cartoon, and that's the Green Lantern that they know.
Right.
Yeah. You got to remember too, like Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds really
geez.
didn't do much for
And
them.
bring
Well,
back
the
that guy
one
that
that-
Deadpool 2 fixed that. It doesn't exist anymore.
that guy who plays Sinestro was awesome. I don't care what anyone.
Mark Strong, he plays Dr.
That dude was
Shivian. He plays Dr.
great.
Shivian in Shazam.
Great Sinestro.
Yeah.
So if it was so shitty, why can't you do something different? Not do Hal Jordan, do Jon Stewart. Give the people something different.
You could, I guess.
I mean, yeah, I could agree with that. Definitely.
Yeah. I would love to see Kyle Rayner personally. I always liked him. I didn't,
I
Guy
agree.
Gardner.
Yeah, no Guy Gardner. For me.
No.
So as we are winding down here, every week we want to do a little talk about like our weekly pools or any upcoming books that we're looking forward to.
Nightly poll.
Yeah, weekly pool.
I do it 2 times a week.
Used to do nightly pools, but can't do it as often.
YouTube won't show that.
So Steve, I'm gonna take it to you. Anything you're reading this week? Anything you're looking forward to reading that hasn't come out yet?
I believe this Wednesday we get the 2nd issue of Catwoman from Joelle Jones. I'm pretty excited about that. I thought that went off with a good start. I know some people are upset at what happened in Batman 50. It didn't really affect me. I thought it was just good storytelling in general. I don't think you tie up your characters by getting them married. So I like the direction that Joelle took Catwoman. I'm excited to see, the new villain that she created for Catwoman. So that one's one that I'm really interested in checking out. And then I'm not sure what else is coming. I don't know if the next issue of Gideon Falls comes out this week or if it's next week, but I've really been enjoying that one. So I'm not sure if that one comes out this week, but I'd be pumped for it for sure.
Definitely. Awesome. James, what are you reading? What are you looking forward to?
Okay, so taking out anything from last week, 'cause I haven't read it yet, but the new Amazing Spider-Man, I like the direction it's headed. Like the artwork and the new team that they have.
Is it still just on issue 1 or is it going to issue 2, 3?
It's already on 2.
Okay.
It's already on 2. And then I'll just bundle it. Anything Donny Cates is doing, we'll just call it that. As far as, let's see, DC goes, Batman, and I haven't finished it yet, but I was reading the whole Batman versus Deathstroke thing that they got going on, which, again, I haven't read this last one yet, but it was kind of pissing me off just because I don't think that they're going to take away Damian from Batman, but the whole, what if they did, that really, that gets to me. I mean, my son's named after him after all, so that would really suck. As far as Image goes, I would say I did really like the Die. I thought that I like the whole conspiracy thing that it has. That's my kind of thing. I like the violence in it. And then I would say Gideon Falls and then Infidel is the 2 really, really good horror ones that they're doing right now. I probably have a bunch more that I'm missing, but I mean, that's what I got so far.
Sweet. Drew.
Well, this week it's a light week for me. I just got the next issue of X-Men Blue, which it's been okay. I mean, I've picked up every issue so far. Gold and red have been way better than blue. And I think Black is coming up. X-Men Black is coming up. It's going to be, I think it's 4 or 5 one-shots focusing on the villains is what I've heard. So that'll be pretty interesting. But Oblivion Song comes out this week, the next issue of that, and I've been really enjoying Oblivion Song a lot. They I think they've done a good job with just opening a whole different new world. And it's the artwork in it's bright and intense in the Oblivion zone. And, when they're back to the real world, it's actually kind of dark and kind of dirty. So it's almost like there's this hell zone, where everything's bright and people are happy, and then they're back in the real world where everyone's just shitty and pissed off. So it's I kind of like the way they've been doing that.
Right.
And I think last week the second issue of the new relaunched Captain America came out, and it is way fucking better than it has been in the last 2 months. I respect Mark Waid for what he brought to Cap back in the day, but the storytelling on this last run has been just piss poor. The artwork was a little weak, I thought. I kind of enjoyed it at first, but as it went on, it kind of backed down a little bit. But shit, Alex Ross right here,
beautiful,
all day, every day.
Oh man, if you're a Captain America fan, you just want to kiss the toes of Alex Ross. He gets the character, and every time he draws him, it's incredible. So the story of this one, they're kind of taking a step away from oh no, he's frozen again and he's out of time. Brr. They're playing off what happened in the Secret Empire thing, and I think it's the story so far. 2 issues in, I'm happy. It's written way better, for
awesome.
Sure. Yep.
Awesome. Chad.
Other than Batman, I just sold my house, so I've been really busy for the last 2 weeks.
No
excuses. I'm not really sure what comes out this week. I know Batman does.
No excuse.
I'm excited for that. I actually liked it. I read an interview with Tom King where he said, I did what I did. We decided to do what we did with the wedding issue to make people angry and sad, just like they would be in real life if that happened. He says, what people feel is what Bruce would feel in real life. He's all, and that's why we did it. And I'm excited to see where the story goes. I liked it. If you haven't read it, I'm about to spoil the ending. Sorry, it's been out for like 3 weeks.
Spoiler.
I liked at the end how her friend goes in front of Bane and all his cronies, and you're like, oh wow, okay, so it was like a bigger story. It's kind of interesting to see where it goes. I don't think there's one out this week, but of course, Old Man Logan. They're going to be wrapping up that series when Wolverine returns. So I'm kind of actually looking forward to that because the story and the writing have really taken a downturn since Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino left the book. Although Ed Brisson and Mike Deodato have done a really good job. Other than that, I'm not reading too much else. I cut off a lot of titles that were just kind of wasting my time and money. I like Die, 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 but I'm going to wait till the first trade comes out. What else is coming out there? Yeah. Infidel looked cool. I'm going to pick up the trade when that comes out. So I only got like a pull list, like 4 or 5 books right now. With con season starting to get in high gear, I got to kind of save every ducat where I can. So that's pretty much it.
Got to save up your loonies and toonies, buddy.
That's right.
Oh, and Saga, with the way that it ended in the fucking 1 year break. So that sucks.
Oh man.
I think I saw a tear.
Continue on next.
So this week, I just picked this up today. I haven't read it yet. I'm reading TMT Urban Legends. I was reading it back in the day. It came out in 1996 by Image Comics. They went 23 issues. All of a sudden, they just stopped doing it. So it never got a resolution. It's non-canon, but the stories are way more violent than usual. In the first episode, you have Raphael getting a shotgun blast to the face. Like his face, it's fucked up.
You're not supposed to block with your face.
It's very violent. It's very gory, and it's just a different kind of book. IDW finally got the original writers and artists to come back and finish the series. So it's going to be 23 issues and then 3 new issues for the finale. So I'm really looking forward to that. I really love the stories. It's definitely a different take. It's a lot bloodier, and they're all wearing their original red bandanas.
Nice.
It's not one of those where it's kid friendly.
This isn't true Nickelodeon Ninja Turtles.
It's truly bloody Ninja Turtles, like just badass. Right now, Ralph is wearing Casey Jones' mask because of the injury he took to his face. And it's just such a good series. I'm glad they're reprinting it and then adding the 3 new issues to it. What I'm looking forward to, I haven't received it yet, but I ordered Batman by Grant Morrison, the omnibus. So as soon as that comes in, I'm gonna crack it open. I really enjoy Grant Morrison. I think he's awesome. Also looking forward to his Green Lantern run. He's gonna be doing a 12-issue series on that coming out in November. And it's not what he said. He said it's not going to be anything world threatening or apocalyptic. He just wants to do like cops, pretty much. Like each issue is it's its own thing, and basically Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern just patrolling space and doing cop things. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, that's
boys, what you gonna do?
I do have an
you got me wanting to pick up that turtle story, man. That's insane.
Really good, man. And then again, don't forget this week, Fantastic Four is coming out by Dan Slott. Really looking forward to that. I might be going to a midnight release up at Zap Comics, just to hang out with everyone, see what they think, and I'll read it this week and let everyone know what I think next Sunday. Really looking forward to it. I love now that how, you know, Disney's basically getting all their property back. They're now going to be releasing, you know, Fantastic Four. They're going to be going back to X-Men a little more. You know, I'm really glad that is happening, and hopefully Dan Slott does a good job. If not, he's probably going to hear my mouth in Baltimore.
There is a book I forgot to mention. Old Man Hawkeye has been awesome.
Yep.
It's like
it's been good.
Western. It's bloody. It's nasty. I mean, you know, I love the Red Skull as a villain, and he's, you know, the big bad again. And it just, you know, I've been enjoying it completely. I mean, I don't know how many other people have been picking it up and reading it.
It's been great. Yeah.
I haven't
No,
seen
it's good. It's
people
good.
even talking about it, and it's awesome. It's great. I mean, you know, a lower hero like Hawkeye, you know, going through some shit and just, you know, going through and killing old villains, and it's awesome. It's just fantastic. It's a great book. I would definitely suggest picking that up and reading it. I mean, even Old Man Logan makes a little appearance there, Chad.
Yeah, of course, baby, of course.
He's just digging holes and planting corn, you know, in the desert.
That's why I love seeing Red Skull, because I'm just like, I know how you end, asshole. Just have your fun now, because soon enough you get Cap Shield cutting your head off.
Yeah, buddy.
And I guess just to close, any upcoming cons that anyone's going to be at? I know us East Coasters are having a big gathering down in Baltimore Comic Con at the end of September. James, anything out there going on with the West Coasters?
Yeah, so August 18th and 19th is Stockton Con, which is anybody in Northern California. That's one of our pretty good ones. And then we're all pretty much just waiting for the big one, which is LA. West Chapter will be there in the masses. So we'll be looking to take over that one like we do every other con that we go to.
That's going to be awesome. And we're definitely going to be doing some post-show about those conventions. Just talk about what we like, what we didn't like, what we did, what we picked up, people we met. We're also going to try to get some interviews with some artists, some creators, some writers, and
new stickers. We'll have new stickers, new logos.
Yeah, if you see anybody at a con that has the Comic Book Fiend Club vest and patches on, come up to us, say hello, chat with us a little bit, get a sticker, maybe a pin. See what we got.
I got 1,000 pockets in my vest, baby. And they're full.
Exactly.
We're pretty friendly, guys, and you know, we want to interact with everybody. So come say hello. Let's talk. Let's go dig through comics together. Let's go meet people. You know,
hint, it helps for enrollment as well.
Yeah. I just want to say, Jay Chala and myself will be. I know I'm only going to one day, and I think he's only going to one day, but we'll be at Toronto Fan Expo Canada on the Saturday, August 30th to September 2nd. So we'll both be. I'll be there Thursday too, but he's going to be there with me on Saturday. So we'll be repping, wearing our vests and stuff. So come on out, and it'll be fun.
I'll be at RockCon, which is Rochester Comic Con. It's September 8th. It's a small local con for my town. You know, but I've seen a few people that have, you know, mentioned my name, you know, on Instagram stuff, saying that they'll be there. So, you know, if you guys see me there, you know, last year I wore my Captain America handmade chainmail. This year I got my cut. So that's going to happen. Come up and see me, say hi, give me a hug, tell me I suck. I don't care. Whatever you got to do.
Don't let it fool you. All those pockets he's got in his vest, he cans pickles and shit. So he may have a pickle in there for you or something.
Go up to Drew, get a pickle, You'll be
get a pin, get a pin and a pickle.
Yeah.
Steve won't be going to any cons. He's going to be busy at the barn, but you know.
So yeah, we're working on a few things for you. If you aren't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please subscribe. We're going to be working on getting some content up. Again, interviews, live footage from conventions, statue reviews,
our local comic shops.
Local comic shop.
I got a few. I'm lining up a few interviews with local comic owners that I know around me, so that'll be good. Yeah,
definitely. We just want to try to upload as much as we can weekly, so we can have fresh content for you and everyone watching.
Give us ideas. Let us know what you guys think. What you want us to do.
Yeah, what do you want us to talk about? Give us topics to talk.
How bad Spawn sucks. That's a good topic. We can talk about that later.
Feel free to email us and
so that's a whole nother podcast.
We can do a whole hour on that.
We don't need to explain. We just say Spawn sucks. Yep. Okay. Cool.
If you guys want to reach out to us, please follow us on Instagram, and that's Comic Book Fiend Club. Find us, follow us. You can message us there if you have any questions, any comments, anything you guys want to know. Again, open enrollment's really right around the corner. Start following us, start interacting with everyone, get to know us, and man, it's just gonna be awesome.
Yep.
All right. Sounds good. Anybody want to add anything in closing?
I'm good.
I think we're good, buddy.
Good. All right.
Awesome.
Make sure to follow us on social media. We'll be posting what time we'll be on next week. Hopefully the same time, but we'll see. We'll come at you with some new stuff, some new news, anything during the week. We'll keep our ear on the ground. And that's it, guys. Everybody have a good evening. Thanks for tuning in.
Same Fiendcast time, same Fiendcast channel.
Ugh.
Awful sign off. Awful.